Alright, so welcome to lesson 1.02 in Chemistry A. This lesson discusses chemistry in general, but the big focus is on types of chemistry and chemists. So we've already talked about the fact that chemistry is the study of matter, and matter is everything that you can see, touch, hear, feel, smell. Alright, so we can break this down into a bunch of different subcategories of chemistry. And that's where the different types of chemists come into play. So this is the kind of definition, definitely something that you're going to want to add to that worksheet that goes with these. But an inorganic chemist, right, studies compounds that are not made from carbon. Right? And the reason for that is because if you look at the next one, an organic chemist is somebody that studies things made from carbon. Alright, so an inorganic chemist is not going to study life, because carbon compounds are the basis for life. An inorganic chemist is somebody who tends to focus on things towards the end of the periodic table. They might be trying to discover new elements, maybe finding a way to adapt other elements for uses and things like that. But definitely a key thing is that it's not carbon-based. All right. Organic chemists, on the other hand, the key thing is that it is carbon-based. All right. So if you see organic chemistry, you got to look for that word carbon, or vice versa. If they're talking about carbon, then that very well might be an organic chemist. The trick is, though, organic chemistry doesn't necessarily have to be living things, because there's plenty of organic compounds that are no longer in living things. So like, for example, studying the efficiency of gasoline, which is predominantly carbon and hydrogen, would fall under the category of organic chemistry. All right, gasoline, formed from the dead remains of once living things, but it is no longer living itself. If the focus of the chemist is on the living aspect of organic chemistry, then they are actually called a biochemist. So I'm sure you've seen this prefix bio before from, biology class, which is the study of life. All right, so biochemists study living things. So if you have to choose what type of chemist might study something and they're talking about, cellular respiration, photosynthesis, any of the multitude of proteins and enzymes in the human body or any living thing's body, all of those would fall under the realm of biochemistry. All right, so focusing on things that are tied to keeping animals, plants, living things alive, that falls under the realm of biochemistry. Physical chemistry is the cross between physics and chemistry. All right, so this is, a big thing here is the thermodynamics of reactions. And I want you to think about that prefix thermo. You've probably have an idea of what it means. Right, so like if you have a thermal layer on a jacket or you use a thermometer. All right, so the really common thing that these guys study are the heat of reactions. All right, so reactions can use and absorb heat, or they can give off heat. Physical chemists will study this. Then the last thing is called an analytical chemist. And if you've ever thought of the word analyze, so if you analyze your data, something like that, you're looking at numbers, you're looking at patterns, things like that. So analytical chemists are going to develop instruments to kind of help us analyze chemicals or measure things about the chemicals. All right, so analytical chemists might come up with instruments that help us determine unknown substances. So how can we analyze what is here to figure out what's in it, sort of thing. All right, so definitely if you haven't gotten this written down, pause the video, add this to your worksheet, and then we're gonna practice some identification. So, again, I would say pause the video, try this on your own. See if you can match up the type of chemist to the potential things they would study here. And then unpause the video and I will show you what the right answers are. All right. So looking at this, let's see. I'm seeing a keyword here, carbon. All right, so for me, that means that we are dealing with organic chemistry there. Let's see, create a tool to determine the composition of an unknown. All right, so I'm trying to figure something out about it. I need to analyze this unknown substance to figure out what it is. That is analytical chemistry. That's kind of getting cut off the page there, sorry. All right, thermodynamics, kinetics. All right, if I remember that whole, oh yeah, thermo means heat. All right, energy, kinetic is a type of energy. So that one's going to be physical. Worst case, if you weren't sure about that one, you could always move on, and then process of elimination might help you out. That one is your physical. Discovering new elements. All right, so this is that whole not carbon-based stuff. All right, so that's where your inorganic chemists come in. And then the process of photosynthesis in plants. So plants, I know, are a living thing. All right, so I would zone in on biochemistry if I hadn't already eliminated everything else. All right, so make sure you have your notes down about the different types of chemistry.